The internet is an interesting place. You can be either motivated by it, you can see something and think to yourself, hey, this might be a good idea, let me do this. And sometimes you might look at the internet and it tells you that there is a stock that you should buy. And that's pretty much this movie, the movie that we're talking about. The movie that we're talking about is the film Dumb Money. Dumb Money is a biographical comedy drama. Dumb Money is the ultimate David versus Goliath tale, based on the insane true story of everyday people who flipped the script on Wall Street and got rich by turning GameStop, the video game store, into the world's hottest company. The film's runtime is 105 minutes. The film's rating is R in color. Film's directed by Craig Gillespie, known for the films Lars and the Real Girl, I, Tonya, and Cruella, and based on the book The Anti-Social Network by Ben Misrach. So, Dumb Money. This is a film that I saw the trailer for. I was a little reluctant. I'm like, alright, big cast of people, based on a true story. You really don't know what to expect with those kinds of movies. But the director got my interest. I do enjoy Craig Gillespie as a director. I think I, Tonya is a really good film, and Cruella is a pretty underrated film. And yeah, Dumb Money. The first thing that came into mind is this movie's pretty much if you had the direction of Fincher, like, or specifically The Social Network, and you had the editing of The Big Short, and you combine the two, and you get Dumb Money, and which is a really good movie. I thought this film is a really good movie that takes, of course, the time period, which, of course, not that long ago, like 2 to 3 years ago, and it deals with this interesting story of this guy who pretty much just motivated people to say, hey man, this stock is pretty hot, you should go and buy it, and a bunch of people go do it, and they pretty much fuck with the companies. And yeah, this film is a really well-made film, very well written, and I think this is a great movie. I think this is really entertaining, it's funny, has the comedy works very well when it has to work, and it's just a really fun movie from beginning to end, and it's really down to a lot of the performances. You got Paul Dano playing this YouTuber, Roaring Kitty, who is a stock guy, and he's the one that pretty much tells people, hey, GameStop, this is gonna be hot. And he put a lot of money himself, like about $50,000 for a stock, pretty much his whole life savings. And in a way, it helped him. It worked very well for him. And yeah, Paul Dano's great in this movie. He plays a very interesting person, a YouTuber of sorts, a character that is unusual. I mean, he did play Riddler, who was kind of a nerdish character, but he's great in this movie. He's really good. His performance as this guy and the person himself was really good. Paul Dano just did a really good job portraying this person and being the guy who's like, all right, man, who really like sticks to his guns, where he's like, all right, GameStop is gonna be hot, and people really, in a way, they get motivated by him. They like his personality, and they say, all right, man, let's run with this guy, and let's see where this goes. Let's take the companies down. And yeah, Paul Dano's great, and supporting cast too is pretty solid. You got some of the hot names. You got Seth Rogen as one of the business guys, the guy who's just there, who is the head, I guess. Well, not the head, like he's there, but he's just, you know, he's the talk. He's like, all right, talk to this guy and to get information. And yeah, Seth Rogen's great in the movie. I was actually surprised by Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen, he's a pretty damn good actor if you give him things to do. Of course, comedy-wise, he is really good. He's a really good comedian. I mean, he does bangers every so often. But yeah, Seth Rogen was surprisingly good in this movie. I was surprised. Also, Pete Davidson playing the annoying brother was entertaining to see. He was entertaining in the role, just being an asshole to Paul Dano, being that, you know, annoying brother. And I think Pete Davidson did a damn good job portraying this kind of guy. I mean, it's Pete Davidson. People can like him, people can hate him, but you know, he played the character pretty well. You also got some other cast members. You got Nick, what's his name? Nick something. He's like the billionaire who's fun. Like, I mean, it's funny. because he doesn't say much. He's just like he has so much money that everybody's like, what a prick. He has he does what has to be done. But he's such a he's just a prick. You can tell this guy's just a prick. He's like, oh man, I'm so fucking rich, bro. Who gives a shit what people say? So it was I like the guy. He played a pretty pricky, but also just like, hey man, I'm a freaking billionaire. And when they actually ask him to be in a situation, he's like, oh fuck, it's funny. And also just little character. You also got freaking what's his name, Sebastian Stan, playing the owner of what's the company called? I forgot. Robin Hood. And he takes pretty much the blame in a certain situation. Yeah, Sebastian Stan plays this young, rich guy who he's young, but he also, you can tell he's gonna be a freaking asshole. He's gonna be a dick billionaire because he's gonna do whatever the company tells him to do, and the company says, hey, shut down Robinhood so people don't buy the stock. He'll do it. And yeah, Sebastian Stan played this unlikable dude pretty well. And also, you got the little characters, the girl, the nurse, who's the first one to really have eyes on Paul Dano and being motivated. Yeah, she's good in the movie. I like her. She was the one where I was like, where she's the one that was in the beginning, like really on this guy. And you also got the guy working in GameStop, who is another dude in the film, and the two girls who are popular in college, I guess. And also, I gotta give freaking Clancy Brown plays the dad. I mean, it's cool seeing Clancy Brown in movies. It's always great seeing him in anything at all. And all around, the performances are great, but I think Paul Dano is really what leads the film, and really just anytime he's on screen, he does a really solid performance, and all the supporting cast as a whole did a great job. But I think what makes the movie so good is really its direction. Direction is reminiscent to Social Network. It's down to just how it looks. The direction is pretty solid. Craig Gillespie is a really good director. I mean, he's done a lot of great movies, and he's made another good one with this film, and it's very well directed. The writing by Lauren Schuker Blum and Rebecca Angelo is very good. It's a very well written film, telling the story of Wall Street and just stocks, and just really just telling the story in a very interesting dynamic. And it's a very well written film. The chemistry, the whole cast does a great job. Everybody works well together. The music by Will Bates is reminiscent to like a Trent Reznor Ross score for Social Network. I'm listening to like the score. I'm like, I feel like I'm watching the Social Network. Like I feel like I'm watching Social Network of 2020 or some shit. That's exactly what my mind came to. The score was kind of reminiscent to that, but it's a good score. So sometimes you gotta, I mean, you get inspiration, and sometimes you make something similar, and it's a pretty damn good score for the film. The DP is by Nicholas Krankenstanis, who was the DP for Bullhead, I, Tonya, and Cruella, and well shot movie. This is a really good looking film to see. It's very well shot, down to just the camera angles and how it's shot. It's very good. The editing by Kirk Baxter, which again, when I say this movie looked like a David Fincher film for me, I don't know. That's the first thing I was while watching this. I'm like, this fucking looks like a David Fincher film for some reason. And funny enough, it was edited by Kirk Baxter, the one who edited The Social Network, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and Gone Girl. So he was the editor for like David Fincher films. So when I was watching this movie, I was like, yeah, feels like a Fincher film, man. It also edited in a way that feels like freaking Big Short. So yeah, it's very well edited. The pacing works. In the beginning, I was like, alright, I'm having a good time. I'm very like, alright, I'm enjoying the story. I'm gonna see where this goes. I'm intrigued by what's going on. And it really picks up with the film, and I felt very entertained. I was very entertained. I think it's a really good film, with also just a really cool story of all these people just ganging up together to pretty much bring down Wall Street and make money. And it was really good. I actually was very surprised by Dumb Money. I think it's a great movie. It's well written. It's directed really well by Mr. Craig Gillespie. And I by the end, I was like, damn. Like, I mean, at the end, you get a little like, okay, you kind of expect where this is going to go, because you can't fuck with the big companies and expect not things to be messed around with. But it was a really good movie. I think it was very well made, and it was just it's like again, like what the premise is, like David versus Goliath, the little guys versus the big guys, and I was really pumped up while watching this movie. Right, man, fuck yeah, let's do this, let's make money, and also just utilizing all the internet, the funny shit of the internet, which the internet is just a wild place. So that's why I love the internet. But sometimes I'm like, all right, man, that's a little, what's going on here, internet? You're doing a little too much over here. But it was fun. The editing is great, and I had a really good time with this movie. And for a rating, it's difficult because it's like, would I buy this on Blu-ray? Because I feel like I like to collect movies. You know me, I love collecting films. But it's hard for me to really put a number for a movie like this, but I think it's a really good movie, and it's a movie I'd like to see again because it's a movie that has an interesting story, an interesting story, and it's just very well made. And you take The Social Network, which is awesome, and you take The Big Short, which I haven't seen it, but I've heard it's pretty good, and you get Dumb Money. It's pretty much freaking Social Network plus Big Short, and you get Dumb Money. And for that, Dumb Money is great. I think Dumb Money is a nice child that you can watch it, have fun, and see it again, and you're like, oh man, let's have fun and watch this movie. So yeah, I'll put a 4 out of 5 stars. I think it's a really good movie, and a surprise for sure. It's a movie that not many people are going to see because it's just not being advertised well. Also, because the movie in AMC theaters, it's pretty funny going to see a movie like this in an AMC theater. But yeah, I think it's great. I am very much surprised by Dumb Money, and I think it's a really good movie, and I think it's worth collecting. So those are my thoughts, guys.